Hi everyone, my name is Nancy Casanova and I am a digital content strategist. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to batch your content. So when it comes to batching content, the reason I'm a big fan and a big proponent of batching your content is because you don't want to be scrambling the day of trying to figure out what you're going to post on social media or on your website. You want to plan ahead. And when you are planning a week ahead for what's coming up, you give yourself like time, peace, control. You feel like you're very deliberate in what you're doing, and that type of discipline is really freeing. And that discipline that comes with planning ahead for your content is super important. It's something that you should strive for. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to be scrambling the day up. You don't want to be stressed about what you're going to write or post or publish. And even if you're always trying to play a game of catch up, it's not fun. You don't like feeling that way. So content batching is something that I like to do. It's something that is a habit of mine, and I make it part of my daily or weekly routine. And today I'm going to talk to you about how I do that on a weekly basis. So with content batching, one of the first things you want to do is you want to pick a date. So this is a date that is going to work better, like best for you. You want to pick a date that you're going to stick to. It's sort of like Mondays are the day that I get up and run or whatever. Like this is how your content batching like mindset should be. So pick a date that works for you. I feel that Sundays are my day, and the reason I pick a Sunday is because I go for my run. I feel creative. I feel like stress-free, and when I come back, anything that was sort of floating around in my mind is now gone. And sometimes I come back with new ideas after an exercise and a good playlist or a podcast. So after my Sunday morning runs or exercise, I like to come back and spend time batching content. So pick your date. I like to do Sundays, but that's up to you. Okay, the second thing you want to do is you want to allocate time. So this is something that you should figure out what works best for you. And I'll give you some tips of how I found out what the best and ideal time is for me. I use an app called Toggl, and Toggl allows me to track my time, and it allows me to figure out how long it takes me to complete a task. Toggl is free. There are some premium versions, but I use the free one. And I like to use Toggl because it allows me to see like, how long does it take me to create a blog post? How long does it take me, as a benchmark, how long does it take me to complete an Instagram post or write a caption or shoot and edit a video? And over time, when you do this, you start to see a pattern of like how quickly you can do it, or the average time, and then also like the longest time it takes you. You're like, oh my God, this video took me forever to do, but maybe you're experimenting with something. So try and figure out how long it takes you to record and shoot content or create content. And I recommend using any type of tool that allows you to track your time. That way you figure out how long it takes you. So when it comes to allocating time, I find that 2 hours is ideal with trying to batch everything together. And during that time, I also am focused on what I know I'm going to create for that week. During that 2 hour period, sometimes I've done up to 4, but I find that 2 hours is ideal. So the other thing you want to do when you're batching your content is you want to make sure you have a strategy. Like, what is your big plan with this piece of content? Is it to generate engagement? Are you trying to generate leads? Are you trying to make a sale? Are you trying to generate testimonials? Are you trying to get subscriptions to your podcast or your newsletter? Figure out what the outcome is of this post, and make sure you know why you're creating this content. The reason this is important is because it's often overlooked. People often create content for the sake of creating content and just feeding like the beast with content. But I find that that's over time very confusing, unfulfilling, and can also help like make you burn out. You can like burn out and with creating so much content that you're not even knowing, like you're not seeing major results. So always ask yourself why you're creating it in the first place. And have fun. Have fun. I say this because you want to make sure that you're having fun when you're creating the piece of content, and make it so that the content is something that comes natural to you. So if you're great at video, or you're great at design, like graphic design or writing, work towards your strengths, because that's going to help you in the long run. So the next thing you want to do after you identify your strategy is you want to do your research. So this is where I identify the content pillars, or the content topics or themes that I'm going to be focusing on, and I do my research. I try and figure out if there's anything trending that week, like something that might be top of mind that may have happened, or just through reading different articles in my industry. You also want to just do your research. Like, is there anything that is notable, any data, reports that have recently come out that you can apply to your content for that week? This next part is my favorite part of content batching, and it's outlining. Outlining is the best part of content creation, because when you outline, it allows you to really organize your thoughts, and you get clarity on what your message is going to be. You want to make sure that your reader understands what the value is. Maybe you have 5 tips or 3 tips or a step process that you want to share. As you outline your content, you get clarity on what you're actually trying to say. And outlining helps you organize your thoughts, helps you plan ahead for assets that you might need, a design that you might want to create, and it helps you identify the call to action that ties your strategy all together. So outlining is like something you cannot overlook. It's so important. The way I outline my content is I usually start with a notebook, or if I'm on my computer, I will outline items on Asana. I use Asana for a lot of my content planning and calendar planning purposes. So I will outline there. If I'm doing writing, I love to write on Evernote, and I have a lot of organized notebooks in there, so I might use that. But those are usually the tools I use. I use Asana, I use my notebook, I use Evernote. Oh, and I also use Google Drive. That's usually where I store everything once it's completed. But outlining, again, is so important. You know, if you need a way to outline your ideas, just remember, like, the first part of your outline should include the enticing value that you're going to provide, or the problem you're going to solve. So something enticing that is like your introduction to what you're talking about. And then after you do your introduction, your outline should include the steps or the value that you're providing, or the tools. It's fine if you have a process that is longer than 3 or 5 steps, but the point is that you outline them so that you know what your points are and you understand what the takeaway is for your reader. And then in your outline, you want to try to incorporate at the end an engagement call to action so that people can respond or leave a comment, and then a conversion call to action, meaning, like, do you need people to click a link or register or RSVP? So think about the call to action for your reader. And then at the very end of your outline, you want to make sure you make any notes about what your visual assets might be. So are you writing a blog post? Leave yourself a note in your outline about maybe a graphic you want to create, or a video, or an Instagram story you want to tease. The final thing you do when you're doing your content batching is now the actual creation. So this is where you design, you record your video, you record your podcast, you write your blog post, you design the graphic, and you work off of your outline. You know exactly what you're going to say. I try to do things back to back, so I move from like one graphic, and I do them in batches, and I'm done. An example I'll give you is for Instagram. I usually try to post about 3 to 4 times a week on my grid. And I know that if, say, I'm just working on designing, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna push through, and I'm gonna finish these 4 designs and just focus on this one task at a time. And so fine, if you get an idea of something else that comes into your mind as you're working, keep a notebook handy so that you can capture that idea, because I know ideas come and go. Once you have all your content creation done, you can focus on engaging with your community. Well, that's it for me today. I hope that you have some clarity on how to do content batching in the future. And remember, don't wait until Friday. Start today. If you really want to get organized, start today and figure out like a planner on where and which days are going to be your days for content batching. If you have any questions or would like to hear another topic about content creation, leave a comment below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with anyone that you think could benefit from this time-saving batching system. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.